Hello everybody, today we're going to be doing my MLB Free Agents of 2021 to 2022. In this video I'm going to be going over my top 30 free agents of this offseason. It's been quite a while. I haven't posted all season long because we had a vacation that went on, and then I kind of just fell out of it for a while. And plus, this season, for at least I'm the Twins fan, was pretty bad, so I did not we're just not going to talk about it. We're going to get into the free agents of 2021 through 2022. Top 30 free agents. Here we go. Starting off with my first 6 free agents. So number 1, we got Clayton Kershaw. I had him going to the Dodgers. I have him going back to the Los Angeles Dodgers. He is essential to that team. He's the ace. He's the main pitcher of the Dodgers. I have him going back to them because he's been around there for a while. He's already won a World Series in 2020, and he's just the man of that team. He's the pitcher. He's the guy everybody knows on Los Angeles Dodgers that's been around for a while. Cy Young Award winner. I have him going back. Next up, we have Freddie Freeman going back to the Braves, who just won the World Series a few days ago, the 2021. And if you guys haven't seen, I predicted the Braves to win the World Series. I didn't have the right matchup. I had the Braves versus the White Sox. And I did say the Braves were going to win. They did win, so my prediction was right of the Braves winning the World Series. So go check that video out if you haven't. Freddie Freeman, I have him going back to the Braves. He's the first baseman. He's like Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. He has been around there for a while. Won the MVP in 2020. They just came off the World Series win. I don't see him going anywhere else besides the Braves. Next up, we got Kyle Seager. I have him going to the Baltimore Orioles. Kyle Seager, third baseman, who was with the Mariners for so long. I have him going to the Orioles because he's kind of getting old, and he's not that good. I think he's good, but he has a limited amount of value, I think. And I think him going to the Baltimore Orioles, a team that's just down in the gutters, one of the worst teams in baseball, doesn't have many veterans. Getting someone like Kyle Seager to be in there, to be a veteran, and a decent third baseman, probably one of their best players on that team, will really help out the Orioles. I do think the Orioles will have a big improvement this year. This will be their first year of them getting better, and I think in 2 or 3 years, the Orioles will be ready with all their young prospects. Next up, we got Freddie Galvis. I have Freddie Galvis going to the Rockies. I don't really have much to say here. I just think he's going to the Rockies because Trevor Story's leaving, and he's cheap, and the Rockies aren't going anywhere. I mean, they're a bad team, and so they get a cheap shortstop, Freddie Galvis. I have him going to the Rockies. Next up, we got Andrelton Simmons. He was Twins shortstop last year. I have him going to the Cubs. They lost out on Javier Baez. They traded him to the New York Mets last season at the trade deadline. I have Andrelton Simmons going to the Chicago Cubs to kind of be their defensive man, somebody who they can trust defensively, not going to hit for much. But the Cubs do have a few good prospects they showed last year, Patrick Wisdom, Frank Schwindel, who are good offensive pieces that they can have somebody who's good defensively, and I think they need somebody who's kind of a veteran as well. Next up, Mark Canha. I have him going to the Reds. My real reasoning behind it is I think he's going to be the Nick Castellanos, basically the replacement of him, because Mark Canha is better defensively. Nick Castellanos is not great defensively. He can't hit as well, but he still has a decent enough bat to be worth having on a team with his defense. So I think Mark Canha is going to be going to the Cincinnati Reds. Will anything happen there? I don't know. I just have Mark Canha going to the Cincinnati Reds for the 2021-2022 offseason. And you know what? I think he can make their team a lot better. Next, free agents. We got my 7th through 12th free agents going up. At number 7, we got Carlos Correa, the big shortstop. On the list, there's a lot of shortstops this year. I have him going to the Tigers, the Detroit Tigers. Reason being, AJ Hinch is their manager, and he helped out with the 2017 World Series, which he had Carlos Correa on the team. Obviously, the whole cheating scandal and all that stuff that I've talked about multiple times on this channel. I have him, though, going to the Tigers. The Tigers have said that they're going to be buyers. They just traded for Tucker Barnhart, which I couldn't believe because Tucker Barnhart's one of my favorite players. It's kind of cool. I think he's going to be going to Carlos Correa's going to go into the Tigers, help out that team. Next up, we got Chris Taylor. I'm going to the Red Sox. I have him going to the Red Sox. He's going to be there with Kike Hernandez, who just went there the last season. I think it's going to be kind of the same thing with him. He can play it. He can play multiple positions. He can play the outfield. He can play left. He can play right. He can play second. And I think he'll be kind of like Kike Hernandez-esque. I think he will be very similar. I think he goes to the Red Sox. I think that the Red Sox and Chaim Bloom definitely sign him back there. Next up, I got Avisail Garcia, who goes to the Oakland Athletics. He's the replacement of Mark Canha, I think. I think Avisail Garcia, good offensive bat. The Athletics are in a weird position where next season they could be like middle of the pack of their division. The Astros, I have a good feeling, are going to get weaker this season. I think them losing the World Series, it's kind of saying it's the end of the dynasty. I don't think they're going to get Carlos Correa back. I don't think they're going to get Zach Greinke back. Every year, they're getting worse and worse. I don't think Justin Verlander will come back. I don't have him on my list. I don't know where he's going to go, but I don't think he'll be here. Avisail going to the Athletics. And, the Mariners, another team, they're up and rising. They're going to be a good team, and I think the Athletics are in that position where are they going to be better than the Mariners? Are they going to be worse? Are they going to be third place, fourth place, second place, somewhere around there? I don't know. Have Avisail, though, going to the Athletics. Next up, I got John Gray, Colorado Rockies pitcher, going to the Minnesota Twins. I had to have one free agent on here going to the Twins, because if I didn't, it would just drive me insane. Even though, to be fair, it is a scenario that actually could happen. Last year, I obviously made a few free agents go to the Twins that obviously probably didn't make any sense. I think John Gray does, because he's not a super good ace pitcher, but he's a decent enough pitcher that I think some teams that really need pitching, like the Minnesota Twins, would be interested in. I think John Gray will go to the Minnesota Twins. At number 11, I got Kevin Pillar going to the Brewers. Reason being, depth. Brewers need depth, and Lorenzo Cain and Jackie Bradley, they're good, but they're old, and they're injury prone. If you get those two guys injured out, Brewers last year suffered from many injuries, and both of those players have had injury history. I think Kevin Pillar could be like their depth piece, somebody that can go in, once a week and just like provide for an off day. And he's not bad. He's really not a bad player. I think he'll go to the Brewers. Next up, Kevin Gausman, arguably the best pitcher in the free agent market this year. Someone who, kind of came out, blossomed a little bit later in his, major league career. He started off as kind of a guy who was a prospect who people thought would be really good. He never really showed it over many years, and then last year he figured something out, and he had a really good year last year. He re-signed with the Giants, and he had an even better year. He came back with them. I think he's going to go to the Mets. I think the Mets are really going to go for big, heavy pitchers. If you get Jacob deGrom and Kevin Gausman in that rotation, that's really good. I don't think, another player I don't have on here is Noah Syndergaard. I don't think the Mets will get Noah Syndergaard. I might make another free agent prediction where I have more, but for right now I have Kevin Gausman going to the New York Mets. Next up, we got my next free agents, starting off with Carlos Rodon going to the Blue Jays. Carlos Rodon, Cy Young potential winner this year. With the White Sox, really, really good year. And I think he is someone who is going to get lots of interest. And I think the Blue Jays are really this year going to be going for starting pitching and bullpen. I do not have any bullpen arms on this list, but Carlos Rodon, the pitcher he is, I think he'll go to the Blue Jays. And you'll see why. Why the Blue Jays, also another reason, in a little bit here. But next I have Nelson Cruz. I think he's going to go to the Mariners. If I was going to be my complete Twins bias, I'd probably make him go to the Twins, and even though he's really good, I have a feeling he's not going to come to the Twins. I think he's going to go to the Mariners, a team that is in the up and rising, and with a great veteran like him, they could bring a veteran in to show the young prospects, Jared Kelenic, Julio Rodriguez, etc., all those guys. Nelson Cruz can come in, help out those young guys, and he's a good offensive bat. And the Mariners, I have a feeling are going to go for this free agency. You get Nelson Cruz in that lineup, and that makes the lineup much better, because their weakness last year was their offense. their offense was not great. It was a lot of guys who are middle of the pack, young guys that people don't really know a lot about because, they're not that great. Next up, we got Starling Marte, who I have going to the Tigers. Tigers outfield's pretty bad. Starling Marte is good. I think because the Tigers are going to be going for it this offseason, they will sign him to be that corner piece of their outfield, really help out, be out there in center field, be good defensively, and hit really, really well. Next up, Jonathan VR. Not a major free agent. Put him on here, though, anyway. I have him going to the Cubs. Kind of the same reason why I have Andrelton Simmons going. Another veteran. You could put him at second. You could put him at, if you wanted to put him at short, you could. Put him at third. Just going to go be there, another veteran who, not great, but can provide some value there going to the Cubs. Next up, Anthony Rizzo. I have going to the Cincinnati Reds. And this is a little bit of a weird one, but my reasoning behind it is I'm going to assume that this next year with all the CBA and all that, I'm just going to say that the National League is most likely going to get a DH, and if they do get a DH, the Cincinnati Reds are most likely going to be having Joey Votto be their DH. So if they have Joey Votto become their DH, they need a new first baseman. Anthony Rizzo would become their first baseman. That's my reasoning behind it. He's a good hitter, good player, and I think the Reds would benefit from having Anthony Rizzo, who played on the Cubs, so, there's a little bit of that going on, but he's still a good player. Next up, Trevor Story, I have going to the New York Yankees. Originally, I was going to have him going to the Dodgers, but the more I thought about it, the Dodgers have Trey Turner, and I kind of forgot about it, but because they have Trey Turner, they don't really need a shortstop, so I was like, never mind, I'm going to have Trevor Story going to the Yankees, who most people have, and it makes sense. He's not going to be the most expensive shortstop out there. I think Carlos Correa is still going to be leading that, but he's still really good defensively. Offensively, he showed potential in past years. Last year wasn't great, but again, he still has such good potential of the player he could be. Going to the Yankees, who do not have great defense, they don't have much guys who are fast. Trevor Story could really go on that team and help out. Next up, our next free agents, starting off with Corey Seager, the other top shortstop. This is probably going to be the biggest hot take of the list. I'm going to the Marlins. The only reason behind this is when I think about who's going to be in on Corey Seager, I think of Blue Jays. But I just don't think they're going to get Corey Seager because I think they're going to be too heavy on pitching. Yankees, I don't think so because he's just not great defense. He's not amazing defense. Like he's okay. He's about average, a little bit below. I just don't think the Yankees would be in on him. Other teams that would really be in on him are just the top guys. I don't think there's any team that's going to be really in on him besides maybe the Dodgers. And I don't see the Dodgers re-signing him because there's somebody else to have them going to. So I think they're going to be going to the Marlins. Marlins need offense, and the Marlins have such a good pitching rotation coming up. Sixto Sanchez, Sandy Alcantara. The rotation's going to be really good in the upcoming year. So I have Corey Seager going to the Miami Marlins. And next up, I have my next starting pitcher, Max Scherzer, Cy Young, kind of like Clayton Kershaw. I'm going back to the Dodgers. And the reason being, he's a really good pitcher, Cy Young Award winner in the past. And it's going to be this kind of same thing with Clayton Kershaw. I'm going back to the Dodgers. Next few, kind of, Eddie Rosario and Eduardo Escobar, both former Twins players. I have Eddie Rosario re-signing with the Braves. Reason being, he won playoff award MVPs. He's going to be going back to the Braves. They won the World Series. There's just no way he's not. Eduardo Escobar going to the Giants. He's the Chris Bryant replacement. That's what I believe in my mind. Eduardo Escobar is the Chris Bryant replacement. So we have that going on. Next up, we got Eduardo Rodriguez. I have him going to the St. Louis Cardinals. They're going to need pitching. They got Adam Wainwright. They got a few other old guys, but Eduardo Rodriguez can really help out that rotation. Cardinals are in a weird spot because they're kind of right in the middle pack of the Central. But I think you have Eduardo Rodriguez going to the Cardinals, who is a veteran who is injured, but Cardinals, they can figure it out with veteran pitchers. And the Cardinals, I think, next year are going to be really interesting because you think about their division, it's pretty bad right now. I shouldn't say it's bad. It's in a weird position. because the Pirates and the Cubs are going to be pretty bad. And then you got the Reds, who are, they're kind of in the middle right now. Like, they're kind of good, but kind of not. And then it's really the Cardinals and the Brewers who have been good, and I think that the Cardinals are really going to go after someone like him to really help out that rotation like the Brewers have. Lastly, on this page, we got the Nick Castellanos. I have him going to the San Diego Padres. Another kind of weird one. I just think he'd help out that offense. Padres, Tommy Pham's a free agent. Another guy I didn't keep on this list because I wanted to make it mainly be the really good, or the top free agents. I have Nick Castellanos going to the Padres because he just is someone who's good offensively. He's a good profile. He's not great defensively, so San Diego will have to keep that in mind. But let's say they bring in the DH, they could have him become the DH, and that Padres team is one of those teams that was just not good this year. They were below 500. They were expected to be playoff contending, and they just fell apart in the second half. First half, the Giants, Dodgers, and Padres, like, that division was insane. And then the Padres just went downhill after the second half. And I think Nick Castellanos, I think the Padres will not be as aggressive this offseason, but I do think that this will be a season for them to retool, rethink their strategy, and be ready to compete next year. Because I don't think the Giants will stay good for many years. I think the Giants kind of just had a one-off good year. I still think they will be good. I just don't think they'll be as good as they were last year. And my last free agents going up, my last top ones, I got Kris Bryant going to the Seattle Mariners. He's a Kyle Seager replacement. Mariners need offense. You get Nelson Cruz, you get Kris Bryant, you're helping out that offense. Kris Bryant going to the Mariners. Simple as that. Kyle Seager, like I said, had going to the Orioles. I think Kris Bryant could help out on that Mariners team. He was with the Giants, so just goes up north to Seattle, become a Mariner. Marcus Semien, I'm going to the Dodgers. This is what I was talking about when I said Corey Seager I don't think will come back to the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers will go after Marcus Semien. And the reason being, the Dodgers, they just can get so many good hitters up. And if they do bring in the DH, maybe they make him the DH. If they bring in the DH in the National League, maybe they make Gavin Lux, move him to second, move Turner to short, put Lux at DH. You saw Muncy Turner, like, that's a good team. You add Semien to that offense, and that Dodgers team is insane. Next up, we got three pitchers: Robbie Ray, Marcus Stroman, Zach Greinke. Three really good pitchers. Robbie Ray will most likely win the Cy Young this year. I have him going to the White Sox. That's why I had Carlos Rodon going to the Blue Jays. I have just those two players switching teams, because they both need another starter to help them out. Marcus Stroman I have going back to the Mets, because that rotation will be really good. I think the Mets are going to heavily rely on their rotation, and their offense can just pick it up. Marcus Stroman, if you have Jacob deGrom, Marcus Stroman, Kevin Gausman as your top three, that's a good rotation right there. That's a good rotation. Maybe Taijuan Walker in the back too. That's pretty good. Then we got Zach Greinke. I'm also going to the Tigers. I had Carlos Correa going to the Tigers. Zach Greinke, Astros player, cheater man. I have him going to the Detroit Tigers. And the last free agent on this list, Michael Conforto, coming at number 30, who played for the Mets. I have him going to the Philadelphia Phillies, help out that outfield and help out that offense. And I just think he'd be a good fit for them. I know it's kind of like crazy because Michael Conforto's a New York Met going to the Phillies, but I actually could see it kind of done what Zach Wheeler would do. Those are my top 30 free agents. If you guys like this video, let me know down in the comments. If you want to, hit that like button. It's up to you guys, though. I just want to, do my free agents. Something I want to do every year, and I have a feeling this offseason is going to be pretty crazy with all those new shortstops and other guys coming out. I'll try to post another video soon, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. I'll see you next.